start, man. All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. It's your brother Rabbi Knapp coming out with a lesson, Lord's will edifying to the Lord's elect. I was watching a bunch of videos today, and I wanted to go over some things. I heard that Antifa was declared a terrorist organization, so I just typed in Antifa and X, and I'm looking through the scroll, man, and it's seeing what's going on. It says, I am pleased to inform you. Check my mic. All right. I am pleased to inform you, many USA patriots, that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And that's from Donald Duck. It says the Dutch Parliament just voted in favor of terror listing Antifa, so everyone's getting in line. Now, the Netherlands Parliament just voted to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization following President Duck's lead. Look at that smile, man. How can you hate a man that smiles like this, man? Come on. What's this? This is just one of many videos. I didn't look at these videos, so I was watching this. This is what was going on. Hold on. When is this? June 11th. I don't know. Was it this year? I don't know. I want to watch it. What did he shoot him with? This shit's so stupid because if this was Jake, y'all all would have been shot. But because this is Esau, it's a fucking circus. Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Dude, that's like mad different crimes, bro. Like, what is going on here? This is stupid, man. This is how you know Esau's involved with this, man. They got paintball guns when they deal with Edomites, but they got real guns when they dealing with Israelites. Look at these people, man. Agent provocateurs, man. Okay, they all work together, man. This shit's silly. You know, this shit's just silly, man. And you people follow this bullshit, man. They try to get you involved in this shit, and they'll kill your ass for joining them, too. What are you gonna lock her up for? Holding a trash can? Like, what the hell is going on here, man? She ain't doing nothing but holding a trash can, man. Oh my gosh, this is so dumb. But this isn't a state of emergency. You gotta label these people terrorists because they're holding trash cans. This is their kingdom, man. I don't see no Jakes out there. It's just Esau and Esau having fun. Yeah, let me run and put my camera to the window. This is so stupid, man. So dumb.
Now to CNN's Kyung Law, who has been standing by all day. Kyung, a lot has happened since we've been talking to you. Where are you now? What is the status where you are?
They put graffiti on the wall. Wow, so dangerous. This is why this shit's so stupid, man. You know, you look at the things that are going on in the world, and you're like, what are these people? This is just all folly, man. Both of these people, they don't, just replace those Edomites with Jake, and it's gonna be a real war zone. January 6th, same thing. Replace those people with Jake, all slaughtered. Okay? But when it comes to Esau, it's like a whole different world for Esau. You know, this is why you don't want to be getting yourself involved with none of this bullshit. You know, giving your opinion about shit. I don't want that music. He about to knock dude out. You go against Duck, man, you're going to get arrested, man. Some clips of Antifa destroying property and harassing people from 2024 in Canada. So these people are all over the place, man. Damn, you hitting people's houses, man.
Déteste Rebel News! Hey! Déteste Rebel News! True!
Hey, c'est une agression que tu fais. Touche pas, c'est une agression que tu fais.
Hey, push! Hey, what's Rebel News, they call it! Rebel News, they call it!
Crazy shit, man.
Nazis come! Off our streets! Nazis come! Off our streets! Off our streets! Nazis come!
Let that old ass lady cross the damn street. Look at these people, scoundrels, man. Oh man. Is this the man that had the world? Like this is just ridiculous. Let me grab that preset, man. It's just silly. It's all childish shit, man. But you know, they got I guess they were designated a terrorist organization. Let me look into that. Antifa are terrorists. Something like that. Let's see what the duck said about it. Are you gonna ask me for information? Of course you are. CNN, you gonna ask me for information? I'm not agreeing to nothing. What is Antifa? What is this Al Jazeera? Are you clean? Good. See, Al Jazeera, these American sites, they're asking for too much, man. I don't want to agree to nothing. I don't want to give you any information. I don't want to click yes on nothing. United States President Donald Duck announced late on Wednesday that he was designating the left-wing activist movement Antifa a terrorist organization. Here's what we know. Duck to designate an anti-fascist Antifa movement a major terrorist group. They're stopping old ladies from crossing the street, man. You know, it's so weird because, you know, as silly as, I don't know what they stand for, whatever. I know they were breaking windows and setting cars on fire, doing a bunch of property damage, but they're Edomites. Both the left and the right. He ain't gonna do nothing about the right. What about the people who are walking around, these major militia groups that are walking around armed? He's all for them because that's his base, you know. But it just goes to show you the hypocrisy of it all, man. Anyone that's against Duck and his movement, if you ain't support him, he gonna be coming after you, man. Tyler Robinson's DNA matched to scene of Charlie Kirk's killing. FBI says, what did Jimmy Kimmel say about Charlie Kirk before ABC pulled the show? Let me see what it says. This is what has Duck said about Antifa on this True Social platform. Trump's wrote. I already read that. Ain't really telling me. They basically labeled.
Don't fucking touch me! Don't fucking touch me! Nazi scum! Off our street! Nazi scum!
But, you know, as crazy as they are on the left, they're just as fucking nuts on the right, man. It's the same people. They're just out of their damn minds. It's gonna be, yeah, this is unarmed people. They're fighting with stupid shit, you know, with signs and throwing rocks and bottles and shit like that. That shit's gonna escalate, man. They already got a lot of tension. All this shit that happened last year, 2020, you know, all of this shit, man. All of that's, they're gonna finally unleash, man, and that's what we're starting to see. That's why we're blowing the trumpet. You know, a lot of brothers were saying there was some good videos today, man. It was beautiful to see brothers all pretty much seeing the same thing, prophesying about the same thing. A lot of crazy stuff out there. Mark 3, verse 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing Satan, the adversary, fighting up against himself. Yeah, what's up with these Tesla vehicles? Jesse Waters just broke down just how organized Antifa has become in the last decade. I don't care what anyone labels these people as, they need to be held accountable. They fire commercial-grade fireworks in the faces of federal law enforcement. They lay siege to a federal courthouse. They occupied courthouses. They bombed cop cars. They found Teslas. They are not doing this for health care reform. They want to overthrow the federal government. That's an anarchist. That's what they were saying Antifa actually is. They're actually just anarchists. They want complete chaos. Okay, and that's the spirit of Esau. Okay, the anarchists in our history have assassinated presidents, firebombed townhouses of attorney generals. You have to take these guys seriously. Then he asked the most important question of all, who was paying the lawyers? Follow the money. So they're labeled a terrorist organization. Erica Kirk. Erica KKK Kirk. Find someone who loves you like Erica. It's just full of shit.
Hello.
I want to see your speech, man. White girl tears are very dangerous, man. They potent, man. They can get anyone to believe whatever they want. She had I can't find it. Her speech. What's this? Here.
Evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. And this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment. And one of Charlie's greatest talents was his ability, this phenomenal ability to choose great people to follow him.
They're laying it on thick, man. Damn, she's former Miss Arizona USA. Damn, Charlie. Yep. So, you know, people are gonna be mad about this, but you gotta be circumspect in these days, man. You know, a lot of people, whether you like it or not, if it's on the news, you know Esau is mad about it, man, because this is how they get programmed, man. You know, channeling all these spirits on people. I know AG Pam Bondi talking about hate speech. So
speech, and then there's hate speech, and there's free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle. There's free speech.
Yeah, she said it. It's across the aisle. Okay, what's the difference? So maybe they can put some context to what they're actually saying. What is the difference between free speech and hate speech? Between free speech and hate speech? The distinction between free speech and hate speech is often debated because it depends on legal, cultural, and moral perspectives. Here's a clear breakdown definition: the right to express opinions, beliefs. This is free speech. The right to express opinions, beliefs, and ideas without censorship or government restriction. Purpose: protects open discussion even if ideas are unpopular, offensive, or critical of authority. Example: criticizing a government policy, expressing controversial opinions about religion, or debating social issues. Hate speech definition: speech, spoken, written, or symbolic, that attacks or demeans a person or group based on characteristics like race, ethnicity, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or disability. Purpose / impact: it's not just offensive but harmful, as it aims to incite discrimination, hostility, or violence. Example: calls for violence against an ethnic group, slurs intended to dehumanize, or propaganda advocating genocide. Key differences: free speech protects expression even if offensive. Hate speech crosses into threatening, inciting violence, or deliberately harming marginalized groups. Legal note: in the U.S., the First Amendment protects nearly all speech, even hateful speech, unless it directly incites violence, harassment, or threats. Fighting words doctrine. In many other countries, Germany, Canada, UK, hate speech laws restrict certain expressions to prevent social harm. So all hate speech is speech, but not all speech is free speech under the law. The boundary depends on whether it crosses into incitement, harassment, or threats. Would you like me to show you the difference with scriptural examples? Speech that is free versus speech that is condemned as harmful. Sure. Let's see what precepts it comes up with. That's silly. Give me 2 Samuel 12:7. Nathan said to David, "Thou art the man." Bold truth spoken to power, offensive to David, but righteous. That's free. So Nathan was practicing free speech. Oh, man, chat is hilarious, man. Paul disputing openly in synagogues. Paul disputed in the marketplace daily with them that met with him. Debate and disagreement is protected, even if controversial. That's funny. It says, Yahushua teaching hard sayings, John 6:60. The disciples said, "This is a hard saying. Who can hear it?" Truth sometimes offends, but that doesn't make it wrong speech. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, so even with hate speech, the scriptures are borderline hate speech, according to Esau's laws. This could be the things that are being said could fall under the guise of hate speech. Okay, even though they believe Edom is done away with, so that works in your favor. So we're talking about biblical nations that don't exist anymore, in your opinion. Okay, so we're just talking bull crap, right? We're just mad because we're black, right? Silliness, man. But at the same time, it's good to know what's going on with what they're doing with all these different situations. If you're not following things like this, then the Lord probably just ain't dealing with you, man. Okay, he probably just ain't dealing with you. And then I heard something about Donald Trump going to Donald Trump, Afghanistan. This nigga about to go back into Afghanistan.
Leave Afghanistan, but we're going to leave it with strength and dignity. We're going to keep Bagram, the big air base, that's one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. We're going to.
So they need a. He's just throwing it out there, man. It's an hour away from where China makes their weapons. So are they planning on launching an attack on China? Because that's what that clip kind of sounds like. That don't sound like peace. Bagram Air Base from the Taliban in Afghanistan. I'm gonna look this up. You going back into Afghanistan, man. Maps. Back into Babylon, huh? Actually, where's modern day? What's ancient Babylon? Where is ancient Babylon? Ancient Babylon is in modern day Iraq. Slovakia, not Afghanistan, Iraq. Which is, where's Iraq at? Somewhere over here. Oh, it's way over here, yeah, right. This makes more sense. Afghanistan. Where's China at? Yep. Oh, he's trying to. So now he's going into Afghanistan. He's going into Venezuela. He's all over the place. Let me see. I think that's it. This dude's all over the place, and what he's gonna do is he gonna bring forth World War III, man. 1 hour ago. Let's see what my man's talking about. Video player will be blocked after one video.
Tonight, breaking news right now as we come on the air, the controversial key vote on vaccines involving America's children. Just moments ago, the American Academy of Pediatricians blasting the panel, calling the committee making these new recommendations, quote, illegitimate. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy's newly formed hand-picked advisory committee, which includes vaccine skeptics, and what they decided so far. Also tonight, the fierce reaction, Disney ABC suspending late-night host Jimmy Kimmel, quote, indefinitely, after pressure from the Trump administration, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr appointed by President Trump and his threat after Kimmel's comments after Charlie Kirk's death, calling on stations not to carry Kimmel. Well, tonight, the new outrage from some saying this is caving to political pressure and that this is an assault on free speech. And tonight, what President Trump is now suggesting the FCC do next. Tonight, new reporting here in the brutal shooting of 5 police officers in Pennsylvania. 3 officers killed, 2 in critical condition tonight. And late today here, what the DA revealed. Just in tonight, the jet off the runway crashing into a home, first responders racing to the scene. The body found in the singer's trunk, identified as a teenage girl missing for more than a year. Tonight, investigators now at the home where that singer was staying, removing several items. Tonight, President Trump returning to the White House after his state visit to the UK, revealing Vladimir Putin has let him down. As Britain's Prime Minister says we must stand together on Ukraine. Back in the U.S. tonight, a man on a roller coaster dying after the ride, the ME finding multiple blunt impact injuries. But what the medical examiner is also saying tonight. Also, Made in America is back tonight, and we take you to Little Havana right here in Miami. Tonight, a mother's dream come true, the ice cream now being shipped all over the country. Her own grandmother inspiring the most popular flavor. And the big news tonight involving a star pitcher. What a run it's been.
Damn, man. People getting found in trunks, people dying on roller coasters. That's not judgment, man. It's a lot. Let me, all right. People getting put to death out here, man. Examples of hate speech in Scripture: condemn speech that harms, cursing or reviling others. James 3:9-10. With the tongue we bless God and curse men. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so be, so to be. It says, summary: free speech in Scripture means rebuke, debate, proclaiming truth, even when unpopular. Hate speech in Scripture: lies, slander, curses, degrading others, or words that incite violence. That's silly, man. That's silly. But that's the time we're living in, man. We gotta be circumspect in this time. We can't allow different doctrines and people to swayed us into doing the wrong thing. You got to be firm in this truth, man. It says, be imitators of God. Summary of Ephesians, the 5th chapter. Walk in love, walk as children of light, walk in wisdom. Wives and husbands, key themes. Let's go into that as a matter of fact. Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children, and walk in love as Christ also have loved us, and have given himself for us as an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet smelling savior or savor. So be you followers of God as dear children, just like Yahushua was a follower of the Heavenly Father as a child. In that relationship, what was he doing as a child to his father? Being obedient. And that was pleasing to him. And the way that we can be obedient is by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, refraining from being part of this world, and just trying to be blameless from the world, or separate from the world. Okay, and you can do that by being occupied in what the Lord has written in his book. Okay, by constantly seeking him, his guidance, so you can remain being that walking in love, which according to John the 14th chapter and the 15th verse is keeping the commandments. Let me just grab it. John 14 verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. Okay, and Yahushua showed he loved his Father by keeping the commandments perfectly. So why wouldn't we do the same thing? But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you, as becometh saints. Okay, so you got to leave those things that once you learn these things, like fornication, for example, worshiping a spiritual adultery. Let's look into this word fornication. Adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, sexual intercourse with close relatives, sexual intercourse with a divorced man or woman, metaphor, the worship of idols. Because that's what leads to all these other things. It's what you believe in. It's a mindset. Okay? Ultimately, it's a demon. You're worshiping an idol. Okay? And all uncleanness. Let's look at that. And all uncleanness. Uncleanness, physical. In a moral sense, the impurity of lustful, luxurious, profligate living, or impure motives. Okay? Impurity. In the strong, pretty much all sins. Okay? Because that's what defiles you. Or covetousness. Let's look at that word, covetousness. Greedy desire to have more. Covetousness. Avarice. I never heard this word before. Let me look this up. Extreme greed for wealth or material gain. Yeah, you don't want to have that, man. Covetousness. Want to be like Esau. If you feel like you have the desire to want to be like an Edomite, you should read Psalms, the 73rd chapter. Asaph had those same thoughts, and he wrote it down because he understood that with this truth, it'll get you out of that mess, man. You know, a lot of us, I be speaking to Jake all the time, they want to go to school, and you know, they're young. And I'm all for school, even going to Esau schools, but, you know, it's education is good, you know, but without the Lord, it's all vanity. But you gotta do something. You can't just, you gotta work. You know, you want skills in a specific area, but you need this word, man. I mean, this is what we all need, man. You know, especially Israel. We need this word, man. It's very important to obtain it and hold on to it. A lot of things you learn in Esau's school, you forget about it. You don't even necessarily work in the field that you went to school for. But this word, you're going to be working in the field that you learning in this because it's the future. You're going to be faced with what's in this Bible in the future. So why not prepare yourself for something that you believe through the Spirit is going to happen in your future? Let it not be once named among you as becoming saints. Okay? Yeah, once you come to the truth and you stop all of that. Scriptures call it being a new creature. Okay, it says 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17, therefore if any man be in a Mashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away, behold, all things are become new. So the things, your decision making, the people you're hanging around, how you act, how you behave, that should all change. And you should be imitating the Lord. This is what we're going into in Ephesians, the 5th chapter. Galatians 6 verse 15, for in Mashiach Yahushai, neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but a new creature. It don't matter if you cut off the extra meat off your meat, man. It's you believing in Yahushai. Okay, that's the important part. Okay, Ephesians 5 verse 5, for this ye know that no whoremonger, a whoremonger is let me see what it says. It's basically a pimp. You sell whores. A man who prostitutes his body to another's lustful hire. A male prostitute, a man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse, a fornicator. You selling your own body, or you selling someone else's body. For money. A pimp. All right. Nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater, having any inheritance in the kingdom of Hamashiach and of power. So if you're still continuing to do these things, you don't have a chance of making it to the kingdom, man. Even though you'll be there through the loins of the elect, but you're dramatically decreasing your chances of receiving salvation on this side if you continue to do these things. So, but that faith is what's going to have you change and move according, not walking in darkness because you think, I need money. For what? What do you need money for? You weren't serving the Lord when you were making the money. The Lord might take you away from that so you can learn how to serve him and store up your riches in heaven, which that money, it says neither moth nor rust doth corrupt. That's better than the riches of Esau's riches, because he can inflate your money and get you to go off and pretty much make your bag irrelevant. And, you know, our people keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe, man. Matthew 6, verse 20, but Matthew 6, verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, which is money. Those are treasures that you lay up upon earth by putting it into a bank. You know, you buying gold, silver. I don't have any of that shit, man. So in all actuality, does that mean I'm just through? You know, the scriptures tell you that money is the defense, but wisdom is a wisdom is a. Let me grab that so I can't even think of it. Money is a defense. Money is a defense. Ecclesiastes 7, verse 12. I'll grab it here. Ecclesiastes 7, verse 12 was the KJV at. For wisdom is a defense and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So I'm mostly banking on this wisdom, because I don't have gold, I don't have silver. You know, I'm not gonna be relying on a sword to get me out of these things, because it just ain't. I don't believe that's what it is, man. You know. So I know I need the Lord, man, because I don't have those things to rely upon. I don't even trust the person to buy the silver looks fake, man. Gold, all that shit is fake. It's all fake, man. Esau's gonna rob you, man. That shit ain't gonna deliver you from nothing. If anything, you keep the silver and the gold, give me a sword, and then I'll go hunting for some silver and some gold if I need it that bad. You know, that would be my plan. But if I was carnal thinking, I'm relying on the Lord. You know, because you got to defend that silver and that gold. You think when you go to barter with your gold and your silver, a lot of people who have that, they got swords, man. And what are they going to do with a system that is digital? What you going to do with silver and gold? He owns all the resources, all the land. He got the military. He got, it's not going to deliver you anywhere. And then when you look at past situations, especially 70 AD, the Romans were cutting people's stomachs open and taking their silver and their gold, because Jake thought that was going to bring him, that was going to sustain him once he got out of that area. And that wasn't the case, man. You pretty much had to leave with whatever you had on your back and be fully reliant on the Lord to guide you, man. That's hard. Like I said, man, it's not for, this ain't for everybody, man. Before I tell you to go get some gold and all that, I'd tell you to pray like your life depended on it. Go serve the Lord like your life depends on it, because it does. And hopefully he gives you the wisdom that which is the real silver and gold that's going to sustain you. All right, Ephesians 5 and verse 6, let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience. Yeah, vain words, man. Things that are not aligned with the scriptures, it's vanity. Because you think what you're doing or what people are saying outside of what's written is going to prosper. It's not. That's what makes it vain. It says, for because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience, which is 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, speckled birds, those of you who know the truth but ain't really persuaded in your mind, I guess I would say. Or you're not. You think something wrong with us. You know, we trying to, like, I can't say we. The men on the highways and hedges, I'm on the highways and hedges, but I'm still just a student, man. You know, I want to make sure I'm built up in that time, because you might have to lose your head, man. You might have to lose it all. You know, you got to make sure you really in this thing for the right reasons, man. You focused on what's written. You focus on the Lord. You're trying to increase your chances to get that penny, man. Ultimately, that's what it's for, man. We're working for a penny. But the children of disobedience is 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who despise Yahweh Shai. So why would you walk in the way of someone you hate? You're not. You're not going to be obedient. He was obedient. You being disobedient, so you're making yourself an enemy to the Lord. Okay. If you're an Israelite, Esau is really the child of disobedience, but you're following him. He's provoked you to believe that his way is the right way because of John 6. Since that came out, I might as well grab it. John 6 in verse I thought that's 59. These things said he in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum. Many therefore of his disciples, when they had heard this, said, this is a hard saying. Who can hear it? When Yahushua knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, doth this offend you? What and if ye shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. But there are some of you that believe not. For Yahushua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. And he said, therefore I said unto you, that no man can come unto me, except it were given unto him of my Father. From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him. Exactly. So a lot of y'all are going to do that. John 6 and 66, you are your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. That's why you fall under the banner of being a child of disobedience. And I'm speaking to anyone who can't really come into this truth, man. You in the outer courts looking in, thinking you're in the inner courts trying to get people to follow you. You're like a seducing spirit. But in all actuality, you're not the one teaching. You're the one that's walking by and think he got, oh, I need to help and teach you. And nah, nigga. Now you need to be taught. Okay? You need a teacher. You need to humble yourself down and learn something. Ephesians 5 verse 7, be not ye therefore partakers with them. That's why we don't follow you. Okay? Or Esau. Ephesians 5:8, for ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye the light of the world. Walk as children of light. Light meaning wisdom. Okay, not just wisdom that you obtained from somebody who knows nothing about who he is biblically. No, someone who's read and sees the value that's in this book. Why is this so important? Why is Esau, out of all the books in the world, he claims to be someone out of here? Catholicism was based, even though it's paganism, but he uses this book because he knows those other books it's not gonna work. He understands the power of the Lord. Even though he uses it, he's completely adverse to it. At least he knows that this is how you do it. You got to know the truth to tell a lie. The devils know and tremble. Something like that. James 2 verse 19. It says, thou believest that there is one power, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. Let's look this up. So they believe, they understand that there's a power. If you understood that, you would do well too, but you don't. That's why you believe in a false God. James 2:19 means that a mere intellectual belief in God's existence or attributes, even to the point of acknowledging that God is one, is not enough to be a saving faith, as demons possess this kind of knowledge and belief but tremble in fear, not in salvation. The verse highlights the difference between having correct information about God and truly trusting and obeying him, with genuine faith always being demonstrated through actions and good works. Okay, you believe that there is one God? Good. This acknowledges that believing in monotheism, the belief in one God, is theologically correct. Well, no. Believing in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Because the Arabs believe in one God. They believe in Allah. Or they claim to, even though we know they actually believe in multiple gods, and they worship the creation more than the creator. Even the demons believe that and shudder. Let me grab this in chat, because I'm telling you, man, AI overview ain't hitting. James 2 verse 19 meaning. It don't really be getting into it like chat be getting into it. James is addressing people who claim faith without works. He makes the point that mere belief in God's existence is not enough. Thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. Believing in the one true God is correct and commendable. That's what I'm saying. The devils also believe and tremble. Even demons know God is real, powerful, and one, but their belief produces fear, not obedience. This shows that simply acknowledging God without works of righteousness is empty faith. James is teaching that faith must be active, demonstrated through obedience and good works. Otherwise, it is no different than the belief of demons. That's how you believe in the Lord, like Esau, like a demon, man. You know, false God. Okay, Ephesians 5. Let me see, am I finished with that? Mark 1:24, let's grab that. Mark 1, verse 24. I gotta go up a little bit. Actually, I don't even want to get it there. I need the whole thing. Oh, that's too much. Yahushua preaches in Galilee. Mark 1:21. And they went into Capernaum, and straightway on the Sabbath day he entered into the synagogue and taught. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one that had authority, and not as the scribes. And there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, Let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Yahushua of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art. I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God. Ooh, so your demon even knew. Okay, that's why y'all be through the spirit. When you walk to these altars and stop and inquire and start acting like a demon, it's ultimately because the demon knows through the spirit what's going on. You just defiled enough where it could use you to try to come up against a man of the Lord. But in all actuality, it don't work. And Yahushua rebuked him, saying, Hold thy peace and come out of him. So he rebuked this demon. Okay, this is him talking to the spirit. And when the unclean spirit had torn him and cried with a loud voice, he came out of him. Let me look at this word, torn. Had torn.
Strong's G 4682, sparasso. Sparasso.
It says convulsed with epilepsy. Sounds violent. It says spasmodic contraction. Damn. To convulse. Tear. What's this word convulse mean? Of a person suffer violent involuntary contraction of the muscles, producing contortion of the body or limbs. Damn, man, that's some ecstasy shit, bro. Crazy, man. That's how it must have had some heavier demons back then, man. Gotta rebuke these damn demons. People got some shit inside of them, man. I see it, man. Especially, you could be acting normal, but as soon as you start to teach the word, the demons just be popping up out of everywhere. You can feel it, man. Sometimes when I'm teaching it, I don't know, I feel like my ears are more keen to hearing things. It's just weird, man. I get super hyper focused on shit, man. And just, it's like I really be getting in the spirit. And that's how we're gonna have to move, man. Keep going. Ephesians, how much time is it? Ephesians 5. Damn, time be flying, man. In 9. For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord. So that's what the fruit of the Spirit, you're going to have to, it's going to prove to you what is acceptable to the Lord. Okay, you're going to be doing those things to be that son of God. You're going to be being obedient. You're going to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's the fruit of the Spirit, is in all goodness and righteousness and truth. So even the truth, how you maneuver in this truth with the word, how much wisdom you obtain, your understanding, It's all fruit that the Spirit's dealing with you. Proving what is acceptable unto the Lord. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. Okay? That's what we here to do, man. You're going to reprove them. They're going to be trying to reprove you. But they're walking in darkness. Ephesians 5 verse 12, for it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever doth make manifest is light. You know, so reproving them brings them to the light. If they can accept correction. But sometimes the darkness is too deep. And ultimately it's the Lord rejecting them as a person, even though you continue to walk in light and they reject it. But you don't want to be as them. Ephesians 5 verse 14, wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give thee light. Yeah, so in order to be awakened, first of all, the Lord got to call you into this thing. It's a gift. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. You know, just being diligent and seeing what's going on in the world so you can move according. This ain't the time to play. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, tells you there's a time for everything. And right now, we in the time of being, you got to be circumspect, man. Okay? It says there's a time for everything. It gives some examples, but the point is there's a time for everything. The point is everything. Okay, you give some examples, but you got to know what time you're in, man. Okay, that's the Lord showing you things. Now everybody's on a different time, you know. Just like people coming into this truth, you might come in at a later time, you might come in an earlier time, but your time is your time. There's a time for everything. And this is the time to awake out of sleep, some of y'all. It's time to get this word, time to fill your cup up. It's time to make your calling and election sure. Okay, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Not only are they evil, Romans 13 and 11, in that knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believed. Okay, and that's the most important part about all of this, is that our salvation is nearer than we believed. That's why these events, hate speech, things of that nature, man. People being persecuted, persecutions coming. All of this has to come to pass in order for the Lord to return. Ephesians 5 verse 17, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Okay, and the will of the Lord is to bring forth his prophecies. The will of the Lord is he requires you to repent. Okay, before he returns, or before Yahweh Shah returns and bring forth judgment. Ephesians 5 verse 18, and be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. Drunk with wine in the case of saying with philosophies that are false. Okay, that's you being drunk, unstable, in excess. Now you want to wean yourself off that by receiving this truth. Becoming a new person, putting that old you away and learning the truth. It says, but be filled with the Spirit. And this is what we want to be filled with. Okay? Speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord. Okay, and this comes in a being comforted with these scriptures. Okay, praying to the Lord. You know, waking brothers up, sharing videos, doing all these things, man. Studying, hastening the day. The Lord, he sees and he hears that. Giving thanks always for all things unto the God and the Father in the name of our Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, not Jesus Christ, man. You look this up, man. It's Greek. Your Lord's Hebrew, so you should know Hebrew. And if he's dealing with you, the Spirit is going to reveal his name to you. You're not going to be calling on the so-called white man anymore. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Okay? This is how you submit yourselves to one another. It's all about the fear of God through in his wisdom, man. Okay, that's how you can submit. You know, that fear gives you that wisdom so you can operate according to how the Lord wants you to be. But I'm going to end it right here. Lord's will, this was edifying. Shalom.